I'm here with Bruce McPherson, who's the new chair of the County Board of Supervisors. Bruce was the California Secretary of State for a while. He was in the California Senate. In 2012, he ran for election in his home county of Santa Cruz and won. So glad to have you, Bruce. And
Thank you.
What does it feel like to be to take the gavel of your home county?
It feels great. It feels right at home. I thoroughly enjoyed the time I had in the state capitol, in the legislature, and the Secretary of State. But I find that it's more immediate, it's closer, and you can get more done when basically you have 3 votes to get, say, to pass a measure rather than 21 or 41 in the legislature. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I feel like I have a good grasp of what the people want. And more than anything, I really appreciate them coming to the community forums that we've had to let me know what's on their minds and what they want to have addressed. It's been really good to be home. It's the right time and right place.
So you assumed the chair a couple weeks ago, is that right?
That's correct.
And that is a position that typically lasts for a year.
Right.
So what do you expect in the coming year?
Well, I expect to work with my colleagues on the board. I think we have a great 5-member board of supervisors, and that we work very well together. We have a common interest, there's no question about it, about the police, public safety protection, sheriff's enforcement, environmental protection of our natural resources, and providing the health and human services for the people of Santa Cruz County. It's an interesting time, as you talked about the comparison with the state. There's been a big shift back to the county responsibility with the realignment in public safety, us taking more responsibility for the correctional system. And now with the Affordable Care Act and us being the ones really that implement that in the health and human services area, that arena, we have a lot more responsibility. And I really feel like we're up to the challenge, and it's a good time to be a county supervisor.
It is. So what do you think having the chairmanship will mean for your constituents up in San Lorenzo Valley, Scotts Valley, and Santa Cruz?
Well, I think it just gives it more of a focus on the board chair, who is the chair. We do rotate this every year, a tradition, and I think that's proper. I think it doesn't necessarily give it more emphasis. I feel like I'm going to have to work with the other 4 members of the board equally as I did previously. But that said, I feel very good about some of the things we've been able to do in my representation of the San Lorenzo Valley, in particular Scotts Valley, and a small section of the city of Santa Cruz, to work with the other members of the board, Brian Coonerty, for instance, in the 3rd District in the city of Santa Cruz, and how we've been able to address this issue of the homelessness and the continuous, shall we say, clientele that have been arrested, and getting the offices together under the leadership of our former district attorney, Bob Lee, who said, let's get the public defender, the district attorney, the courts, the police officers of Santa Cruz, the sheriff's department of the county, and see how we can coordinate this effort with health and human services and get these folks on a different track so they're just not rotating, going inside and outside of the jail system on a regular basis. And it's really worked really well. We are finding out in the first year that the recidivism rate has dropped by more than 2/3. That's phenomenal, but I think we need to have an overall 3 to 4 year oversight of how this is working. But at first glance, it's working very well. So I really like doing that and bringing communities together and getting the similar interests, in this case law enforcement, together so we can address the needs of our community.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.